This is the University of Nebraska Pollinator plot and outdoor classroom. We planted this in November of 2014. About a third to half of it is a high quality pollinator plot mix with about 40 flowering plants that are mostly natives, almost all natives, and about 5 grasses. And this is mid-May of 2015. This is what we have so far. And one of the biggest issues with this plot so far in this main portion where we planted it is we have a lot of winter annuals that have come up. We have things like waterpod, pennycress, ragweed, as well as knotweed, which are sort of taking over a good portion of the plot, as well as some of our good stuff is coming up. I believe what we have here, I'm not a plant expert necessarily, but it's Monarda, the taller stuff that's starting to come up, or bee balm. And so we've got some good things in here. So we're faced with a challenge now is we have to control the weeds in order to allow the other good stuff to come up. So we planted some bare root things, the shrubs, which are fine here, but now with our main pollinator plot that was planted with seed last fall, we just have this huge issue where we can certainly leave the winter annuals, but they're going to choke out all of our good stuff and never give those a chance to come up and grow. So what we've done is I've hired an undergraduate student here at the University of Nebraska this summer, Kendra Nelson. Hey Kendra, say hi to the camera.
Hello.
We've talked about ways of controlling this, and I had favored using a mild chemical treatment to deal with this, to deal with the issue here. And I've done that around some of the edges. We're going to have a green barrier. It'll be oats and alfalfa and some other things that'll be a burn barrier. Because eventually we'll need to control this either with grazing or burning to allow the prairie to be restored. But Kendra has also challenged me. She thought, well, let's do part of this in sort of, what you say, deadfall. So we use a scythe. Chop and drop. Basically to do a test to see how well preserving the good stuff hopefully is in here, right? We're not going to chop down the bad stuff, hopefully. So what the challenge here is, we're going to do half of it with a chemical control and the other half with chop and drop, both for demonstration purposes. So most of this plot is an outdoor classroom and also a demonstration plot, so bring the public out. And so we're going to do 2 halves of this to control it. One with a chop and drop and other pulling and weeding methods. That's why Kendra's getting paid this summer to help us with that. And I'm going to do a chemical control in part of this and do spot control a few of the things. So we're going to see how well that works and what comes up. And that's part of the purpose of this, is for demonstration purposes. So we don't exactly know what's going to happen in this particular space. One thing to note is there's about 5 good plants that are coming up currently that we can see. There's some nice clovers, we've got our Monarda, and we've got a few other things that are growing here that are good, but it's very hard to tell because the knotweed has mostly choked it out. So we need to control it ASAP. You know, they're annuals, so they will die, but we want to be very careful to allow the good things to come up. So we got to do it now. We want to do it before things seed. It's been extremely wet in Nebraska this year. As a matter of fact, the wettest year on record in 130 years, wettest May. And so it's been almost impossible getting here. It's been raining every day. The great thing is it's perfect to pull weeds, and Kendra's going to tell me that, I'm sure, after she's worked here all day. I'm a fat, older professor, so there is no way I'm going to weed this. I've got other things I need to get done, but Kendra is gladly is doing an internship and working with us this summer, which we're very happy to have her. So yeah, we're going to see how this works. And we're going to document this process throughout the year. I took some photos, which I'll post on our site, of our planting experience. Last fall, we had the public and some other volunteers at the university come out and help us plant. And we want to document how this works. Now, just to note, not all this space is this native prairie. We have some bush plots out over here that are berry bushes so show the connection for food for pollinators. We have a larval habitat that you have to go in out there in the far end. And out over here, we have a water-wise pollinator-friendly plot that's going to go in this summer as well. So we have a lot of things going on out here, and as this grows and develops, please watch our videos, as well as we're going to have some public day events as this actually turns into something. Kendra's she's going to do a demonstration of chop and drop, right?
Sure.
Let's try it. Hey, that looks a lot better. Our blade was not sharp enough that we purchased. We've had trouble finding size, so if anybody has any suggestions for it, hey, go for it. But anyway, this is what we're going to try, and her and I are going to have a bit of a challenge. She challenged a professor, which is great. I think that's why we hire students, to have us think differently about things, as well as help them think differently about things. So we're doing some trials here just to see how it goes and to show people what can be done out in a plot like this. So anyway, we hope you enjoy our videos, and there's more to come.